Hey guys, how's it going? Coming back with another video, another movie review. Today we're going to be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. It's the third installment of the Deadpool franchise starring Ryan Reynolds, and I would have to say honestly, this is a very good movie. You're going to enjoy it. I know it's in its fourth week in the movie theater. People already have done their reviews, but that's totally fine. But here's my thoughts and my opinions and my rating of what I thought about the movie. So, like I said, Deadpool Wolverine stars Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It's the third movie in the franchise. The two previous movies run by Fox, and humbly, I would have to say, it's a good movie. You know what I mean. It's a very good movie. It starts off with Wade Wilson, Deadpool, trying to figure out, how to become, on his human side. Should he be more Deadpool, or should he be a little bit more, just a 9-to-5 worker? And that's where we see him off as a 9-to-5 worker at a car dealership. It's a very funny scene. If you know, you know. So it really dives deep into the kind of like I said, the struggle between the two. He's trying to find a balance, and there's really not much to go off of. And I really like that. I really do. So from the previous movie, Deadpool 2, we see him go, at the end of the movie, we see him go back in time, change a lot of things that happened in the past with past Fox films. I'm so sorry. With past Fox films, and it really kind of I like the idea that it did, that it showed, but really didn't tell. You kind of want to keep it a mystery, and I like that. Some people might not like it, but it was okay for me. So we see him with everybody that he brought back from the previous film, from part 2, into this new timeline, and it really it's a really humble scene. It's one of those scenes that I didn't think that they were gonna do. There are some funny jokes and stuff like that, but it was a very heartwarming, a wholesome scene. And then we get into kind of like the jokey side of Wade Wilson Deadpool going into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, with under the umbrella of Disney. And he makes a couple, he cracks a couple jokes and stuff like that. The TVA, the Time Variant Association, I believe that's their name and what that stands for. They bring him in and say, hey, we have kind of like a mission for you to do, and we have kind of like a thing that really needs your attention. We don't know why yet, but it needs your attention. His timeline in the Fox universe is dying. So he has to try to figure out, how to prevent that from happening from his loved ones, from his friends, and from his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa. And I believe her name is Morena Baccarin or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I really like that idea that the TVA is in here. We're going to get into that a little bit later, why I think it's kind of going to be a little bit messy, but we'll get into that later. So the TVA says, hey, we have a problem. In your timeline, in your universe, it's dying. And the reason for that is because of the past Wolverine in the past movie, Logan. I think that movie came out in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, or in 2018. I don't know, one of the two. And he died, Logan died, and that was pretty much the gatekeeper of the current timeline that he's in. So the TVA was like, hey, let's see if you can fix this. And Deadpool is like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. So he goes to find that version of Wolverine, Logan, and he's dead. Not knowing that he did die, he died. And so goes back to the TVA. He's like, hey, he's not there. You know what I mean? He's dead. So he has to go through a different variations of how can kind of like the same similar thing of what happened in Avengers Endgame, different variants, different versions of one another, and stuff like that. So I kind of like that idea, but the general audience that doesn't read comics and that really doesn't know what's going on, they're going to be a little bit confused, but that's fine. So he goes to, other timelines. He planet hops, universe hops to other universes to try to find a kind of like a sacred, saving grace Wolverine Logan that will help him stop his timeline from dying off. So I like that idea. But the biggest problem that I have with it is the fact that it gets a little messy. And I kind of hope and I kind of wish that Marvel will stir away from that. Honestly, this is they talk about timelines and different universes and stuff, but this was pretty much after the Avengers Endgame, leading up until now. This was pretty much a very grounded movie. And I like that. I like that idea. We need more grounded movies. We don't need... I mean, it's good in mentioning and passing and stuff like that, but every movie can't be all about timeline and time travel itself, because it gets messy. You know what I mean? That's just my humble opinion. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. So they were like, hey, you have to do something. So he goes into one of the universes and he thinks that it's a Wolverine that, could help him save his timeline. Doesn't happen. The TVA was like, hey, this guy, you know what I mean? He's done some shit. And I really don't think that they were stirring away from it. It was just, point blank right in the face and saying, hey, this guy messed up. He messed up bad. Like, very bad. We don't know. The audience doesn't know how bad, but everyone else knows. And that that was a cool idea, cool concept right there. So they fight, they argue, whatever, and then they're sent into the void. Now the void, I'm not really too familiar with. I think it's kind of like a concept of like saying like, hey, you're okay, but we're gonna banish you, and they meet up with Professor X's sister, Nova. I think her, it's kind of like the same similar thing as Professor X, same type of powers, mind read and stuff like that. But she uses her fingers, which is kind of, it's a neat little and cool little gag that they do in there. So Deadpool, Wolverine, they meet her. Things go badly, and they have to escape it. And then that's where we get in kind of like the bad cop, good cop type of thing. Even though that they, are beating the hell out of each other, most of the movie. And it's pretty fun. These fight scenes and these fight scenes, like I said, they're brutal. They are brutal. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of cussing. But I like it. It's very fun. I didn't think that Marvel Studios will ever do this. I would hope, Kevin Feige was like, hey, this is Deadpool. You know what I mean? We're not going to push the boundary, but we're going to see how far we can take it. And it really did show, like, Kevin Feige, was like, I don't care, what anybody says. This is Deadpool. We have to do this. So I like that concept. It's a good concept. So Deadpool, Wolverine, they're fighting in the void. Have to find, the others. They're talking about other Deadpools. They're talking about other characters, different cameos. So we get into the cameo section. I didn't kind of, just doing it for runtime. We get into the cameo section, and I am not a big fan of like seeing other characters and like cameos, because normally when you do see a cameo from a different character, they're killed off right away. But in this case, it wasn't like that. But there was one cameo that I just absolutely blew my mind. It blew my mind. Blade. Wesley Snipes' Blade. I did not think of all the rumors and stuff that I heard about this movie. I'm like, okay, well, this character is going to be in here. That's cool. Nothing about Wesley Snipes' Blade. I mean, I honestly, I don't think that we haven't seen him since like 2003, 2004. You know, it's been quite a while that he's been in a Blade movie or played as Blade in a movie. So I really like, I screamed. Like it was a good cameo, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not really like a strong suit for it. I like it when it happens. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, you know, he's there, she's there, you know what I mean? So it's, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first movie, Marvel MCU movie in 2024. And that's fine. But it has been breaking records like none other. It's already at $1 billion, you know, really, you know, going to the new height and to a new level that, hey, we can make a rated R movie and it doesn't really have to be kid friendly or family friendly. It's going to make money, and it did. I don't think that they were expecting that, but it's a good surprise, and I did like the idea of saying, hey, let's do this. What it really reminded me of, not on scope or anything like that, but the experience in the movie theater, it brought me back to when I was a child watching Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. I had so much fun watching that movie in the movie theater experience, and that brought me back when I saw Deadpool 3, Deadpool Wolverine. It brought me back to that memory, and I was like, this is so much fun. I really like it. I have to give huge credit for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Ryan Reynolds has been in this franchise quite a while now. He's been playing this character for quite a while. 3 movies, but you know, from the timeline and for the years. And I really have to give him props. You know, he did a very good job of writing this, of, you know, co-writing or even just writing this script. And, you know, hats off to him. You know, hats off to him. Ryan, if you ever see this, you know, it's a wonderful joy. Hugh Jackman publicly came out and said, hey, I'm retired. I want to retire this character. He's already dead. I don't want to do this anymore. And then publicly, he's even said that, you know, he saw Deadpool 1 and he was like, oh, I want to team up with this character. And then I'm so glad that he did. I'm so glad that he came back. I don't know if we're going to see him in future films. I hope that we do. And I hope that he does play this different variant of Logan, of Wolverine, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It may not be the canon and the first choice that Marvel, you know, is going towards to, you know, for the new phases and stuff like that. So it's very interesting of what they're going to do with it. I really like the concept, but just like I said before, I hope it doesn't get messy. So I would have to rate this. I would have to rate this as second place. Out of all 3 movies, Deadpool 1, by far the best out of all 3. My humble opinion, Deadpool 1, and then it goes Deadpool 3, and then Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2, I just felt like they were just kind of like, you know, putting just one-liners, punch-ups, and stuff like that. A lot of stuff, I guess, was on the cutting room floor that they took out, you know, which is fine and everything, but I just think that they were just a little bit more, you know, putting the one-liners in there and everything. But for my rating, I'm gonna have to give this a high full price. It is one of those movies, you know, it's very captivating. It's very, you know, it doesn't pull his punches, you know, definitely. The fight scenes, like I said, are amazing. The script itself, I think, you know, for the main plot, I'm not saying that there isn't a plot, but there's not really a strong suit, and I think that's what they were going towards. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're not really trying to build anything up. They're just saying, like, hey, Fox is dead. Fox Studios is dead. Fox Studio doesn't have the IP rights to any of the Marvel characters, so, you know, they're kind of like a word and play, and I like it, you know. So, like I said, I hope it doesn't get messy. But here are my opinions. Here's my thoughts. Here's my humble, you know, review and stuff like that. So, You guys check it out. Hope you guys like it. Come back for more. There's going to be more videos, a lot more. There's going to be bad movie reviews, good movie reviews, and I'm going to be cooking up some stuff. So keep in tune, all right? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hope you guys have fun. Have a good day.